What's up, everybody? This is Hannibal Sky doing a Borderlands Underdome DLC Starter's Guide. That's the second DLC for Borderlands, and I'm going to start off by kind of helping you decide if you should even buy this one. I just went for it because I liked the first one, the Zombie Island of Dr. Ned, and come to find out this is basically impossible to beat by yourself without using kind of a cheat. Basically, the concept of this is it's just 3 arenas that you're playing. And here you see once you have bought the DLC, just go to your fast travel station. It's at the bottom. It's 3 arenas that you do twice each. The first time you do it, it's 5 rounds of 5 waves apiece. The second time, it's 20 rounds of 5 waves apiece. So that second time around, when you're doing 20 rounds, it's going to take you about 2 to 2.5 hours to beat each one of those. Here you can see bank upgrades in the weapons thing. If you run over here to this little robot with the top hat on, it's a bank. You can store your weapons if you want to just save some that you're going to use later. I've stored some weapons. I've now gone back and I've never picked any back up to use again. So it's not that useful in my opinion, the bank. Anyway, going back to what I was saying, it's going to take about 2 to 2.5 hours per challenge, per arena for the 3 big ones. The smaller ones might take you a half hour maybe, if you have someone else playing with you. The key to beating these is having one player, the host, be like level 15 or level 16, and having you be like a level 50 if you're just playing with 2 players. For a challenge, if you have 3 or 4 players, you can all be whatever level you feel like. But if it's just you by yourself or 2 people and you're both level 50, you're just going to get destroyed in this. Because as the levels go on, the enemies get harder and harder. They keep getting more and more bonuses to their skills, their powers. And doing it with one character, the host, as a level 15, because the enemy's levels are based off the host, and then I was a level 50, I almost died on the last couple of rounds. Even though I was a level 15 and the people attacking me were I'm level 50 and they were level 15. They almost killed me a couple times when I got stuck on a rock. And there's no save points in this. If you're playing it by yourself and you're playing one of these are the 20 round ones. This curtain doesn't open until you beat the smaller arenas. So you can't get to this until you beat the smaller ones of only 5 rounds. If you're playing by yourself, you get to round 20, wave 5, the very last thing, and you get killed, it's over. You have to do the whole thing over again. You can't just start back where you were. So you could waste 2.5 hours of playing for nothing. If you're playing with 2 players, if both of you die, then it's over. Now, if you are playing with 2 or more players, if one of you dies, you just go into the penalty box, which is above the center of the arena, and you could still stand up there and snipe and help your teammate. And if he stays alive to the end of that wave, you just get teleported back down, full health, full shields for the next wave. But so it's really geared towards multiplayer. If you don't have other people playing with you, it's really not a good one to buy. I bought it not knowing it. I couldn't really find many people to play with, so I ended up, and I don't have that much time usually to sit down and play solidly through because you can't stop and come back. If you want to play it by yourself, the way you do it is you create a second profile on your Xbox. You start a new campaign, get that character up to level 15, and do a split screen. You go in here, make sure that new character that's a level 15 is the host, bring your level 50 in, and just set that controller down next to you. And so that way you're level 50 and you're fighting level 15, so you have a little bit better of a chance. And I'll show you, I'll go through all the arenas and kind of show you where I hid my second character so he didn't get killed as quickly. You can kind of use them as bait, so the enemies will go after them instead of you. You know where they're going to be. You can throw down proximity mines around them to help kill them. There's some strategies with it, but that's about the only way you can beat it by yourself, is using that little trick. And that's really all there is to this. There's little like vending machines, and there's the arenas and the bank. That's all this DLC is. Here is Hellburbia. It's the first of the arenas. And also, you'll notice as when I'm in here killing people, you do not get experience for killing people. You don't get money. They don't drop items. The only thing you get is after every round is over. So after you beat all 5 waves in one round, a few weapons will drop down in the center there underneath the penalty box where you start. You have a few seconds to pick those up. And other than that, you get experience for completing all 3 arenas for the small set and the big set. I think that's the only way you get experience in this one. So it doesn't add anything to the rest of the game. Like you could play this along with your campaign, go back to your campaign, and nothing has changed for you. Unlike the other DLC, the Secret Armory of General Knox and Zombie Island and Dr. Ned, you actually gain levels, you get gold or money or whatever. You don't really get much from this one. So be wary if you don't have other people you play Borderlands with. Might not be the best DLC to grab. Having said it, I'm just going to kind of run around each of these arenas and show you kind of where everything is. That 2X's and that stage looking thing, that's where the boss comes out. Every 5th wave is a boss, and they come out of there. The bosses have a couple of seconds of immunity when they first come out, so don't start wasting your bullets on them right away. Wait till that wears off. You'll see like they're shining or something. You can kind of see when it goes off. There's different types of waves. There's gun wave where everyone has guns. The starter wave is kind of a mixture of everything you're going to see throughout this arena. There's horde wave, which is easy in the beginning, and then as it gets higher up in the rounds, it becomes the hardest one, especially when they start adding buffs to help the enemies against you. And it's just all the psychos with hatchets chasing you. There's no guns. But that one gets dangerous because if you get stuck on something and they surround you, they can take your shield down real quick, especially later in the levels, later in the rounds. The most dangerous version of that is when they have the buffs where the enemies are faster and where you have no shield, and where there's one called Vampire where you're slowly losing health as you go along. There's a bunch of different buffs like that. There's one where there's low gravity, so every time you jump you float for a while. There's one where both you and the enemies are fast. There's one where the enemies have increased accuracy. There's one where headshots count for extra damage and body shots don't count for hardly anything. This is where I hide my little second character when I'm playing when I played by myself. Is in this little alleyway, so you can kind of funnel the enemies in here, throw down proximity mines all around the entranceway, and also you get in here and you're fighting them and you start getting in trouble, just run through your mines and they'll die behind you. So kind of a useful little tip there. And I'll talk some more about the buffs and the rounds in the next video.